We're going to jump out to the side. So hands to prayer position, jumping out. Good. And we're turning the right toes to the right. Keep the arms up as if we're coming into warrior two, just for now, just to kind of prime the shoulders a little bit. Drop the shoulder blades down. Now we're about to come into a version of Parshvak, but we're trying to stay open all the time. So from the get-go, feel that openness. Lift the chest up, drop the shoulder blades down. From here, inhale, stand taller, exhale, bend the right knee. I'm going to shift around so you can see. We're going to take a similar bind to what we did at the beginning. So you can join me as I talk, or if you don't know what's happening, just have a wee look first if you weren't here at the start. So the right arm comes underneath, internally rotating. Take the lower right arm around the thigh, not around the bum, around the thigh. And then wrap your left arm around. You might get the left hand onto the back, or you can hold onto the fingers, or take hold of your left wrist. Bend that right knee nice and deeply, and then we're trying to push into an opening twist from there. So once you're there, working on opening as best you can. So it's quite difficult. We're quite restricted in this bind. So you're really having to work internally. Anytime there's external restrictions, you have to work harder internally. It's a good philosophy for a pandemic situation. Drawing that left shoulder back, looking up if it's okay with your neck. Trying to improve the quality of your bind. Even if you haven't got the hands touching, still try to improve the quality of what it would be to bind, as in more openness through the chest, closing the gap between the hands. Now we're going to take hold of the right ankle with the right hand and open into Trikonasana A modified. But we're trying to maintain that sense of kind of openness through the chest that we had to almost fight for in the last posture. Now that there's fewer restrictions in the external body, we can really kind of bring that echo through and do a better Trikonasana than we would do normally, hopefully. The drishti is there to help us with our alignment and also to keep our mental focus, but the drishti should never hurt. So if it's too much on your neck to look up, simply look forwards or down. Push into the feet, we come up, keep the arms nice and high and straight. We're going to reverse the foot position. So take a few moments to get that openness. Right now that we know what's happening on the other side, mentally we know what's happening, so physically we can kind of get the measure of it a bit more even. Getting a sense of creating a standard of openness that we try to take through into the posture. And then on the next inhale, long body, exhale, bend the left knee. And we take that left arm underneath, internally rotate it. Bend the elbow, so your left lower arm is on the outside of the left thigh, so not the bum, the thigh. Even if the thigh instruction means you can't bend, that you can't bind, that's okay. Just take the back of the right hand to the back, or you can take hold of the fingers, or take your full bind, grabbing onto the right wrist with the left hand. And then opening the chest, you're trying to swing the bum forwards and open the chest, looking up. If it feels okay for your neck. Drop a little lower into your lunge if it's okay. See where you're at with that. So the positioning of the ingredients of arms and left leg are trying to push the chest forwards, resist and pull back. Those same ingredients are trying to push the bum back, resist and push forwards. Try to keep that openness now. And in the presence of new freedom, we can come into a higher standard of the Trikonasana. We're just modifying though, we're not going to take hold of the big toe. Just take your left hand to your left wrist, ankle, excuse me, and then looking up towards that right hand, or forwards or down. So bringing that same kind of element of bum forwards, chest back. This time there's nothing in the way. So you can feel that freedom and that stretch in the side body. And then we come up, inhale. Make your feet parallel. Exhale, hands to waist. Push the hips down into the legs with your hands and lift from your hands up into a little back bend. Inhale. Exhale, we're coming into Prasarita Padottanasana A. So hands inside the feet, flat if you can, top of the head to the ground. And breathing there in your side bend. So again, we take a little echo from our Uttanasana at the very beginning. And bend those elbows to the wall behind you if you can. Legs are straight, or a work in progress of straightening. Let your weight come into the toes. Angle your tailbone directly up. Three more breaths here. Looking good, guys. Well done. Now we're just going to bring the head a little bit in front of the hands now rather than in between them, and bend the knees. And we're taking the shins onto the triceps and lifting the feet. If you can, take the big toes to touch. Bringing the feet back down again, walk the hands back, and we return into Prasarita Padottanasana A. Head in between the hands now instead of in front. Two more breaths there. And then we're walking the hands around. It doesn't matter which side you go to. We're just using it as an opportunity to come to one end of the mat and then step that front foot back to the other end of it. So we can do our vinyasa. Exhale, inhale, exhale, and then coming through to a seated position.